Today's really a bit more on how secure is your cloud environment, and we're going to cover a couple of areas. The first one is kind of brief because it's more conceptual and architectural level. It's slightly different. So this is around the well-architected framework. So it's basically, as you'll see, it's a set of architecture guidance and best practices for architects, developers, solution owners to basically improve the quality of your workload. And it has 5 pillars, right? And obviously for today, we're all about security. I'm going to mainly just focus on the security pillar briefly. And then if you want to learn more about the overarching framework and all of the different areas, which is quite important if you're delivering a specific workload like a website or anything basically it's running within the cloud. This will help make sure that you're taking the cost into consideration, operations, performance, reliability, security for those individual workloads. So there's a link there you can do, and as long as you type in Azure well-architected framework, it should be quite easy to find this in the search engine, right? So it basically helps you build your workloads with confidence. It's based on deep technical guidance, what we've learned over the many years that we've, developing solutions in Azure, both internally at Microsoft with our partners and customers. So it's based on, like I said, lessons learned. It's quite a robust framework. So you can build with confidence across all workload deployments and operations against those. Design workloads using actionable and simple to use deep technical guidance. Also allows you to perform a gap analysis to identify areas for improvement and where to focus optimization efforts. Because if you've been using the cloud for many years, or if you had a very quick migration you need to do, you had an old legacy on-premise system, and you just had to get up in Azure as soon as possible. But at some point, you said that, okay, in a couple of years, we'll get around to it. We'll sort of redo this, platform so it's more properly utilizing Azure. You can take a well-architected review to go through and actually see, okay, how should we maybe have really leveraged the platform properly? And you can engage one of our partners such as Cloud Direct to who offers these sort of well-architected framework reviews to kind of see how your workload has been delivered in Azure and how it can be improved essentially, right? But the one that we obviously want to focus on here is the security pillar, which is around how you build and manage proactively secured workloads, right? So it's basically got three main aspects, as you'll see. So build on a secure foundation. So basically, you're going to design assuming workload failure. So you're going to assume that something's going to fail at some point, right? So you're going to have multi-layer protection controls that usual defense in depth, right? You're going to build your workload using zero trust principles for both IaaS and PaaS, and you're going to deploy Azure security investments, resources, and compliance certifications when you're designing these workloads. So you're taking all these into consideration so that, it's only as strong as the foundation for the workload you're building there, right? And then to help you sort of proactively stay secure, Azure has a large number of native controls, which we'll discuss in another session tomorrow. So such as Microsoft Defender for Cloud, which we're going to discuss today, actually. And then web application firewall, for example, which you would use to front end your web applications in Azure, and obviously Azure Active Directory for managing your identities and work, and security in that part. And then the last bit would be sort of the response, detect and response. So security graph or graph API, which you can leverage to grab all the details programmatically about the security status of your environment and help build intelligent applications. And you can use automation along with Defender for Cloud to, automate your detection and response capabilities. So if, for example, you notice an incident in the environment or something isn't as it should be, you can leverage, let's say, Azure Logic Apps, and they will respond, and fix something or create a security incident or whatever you want to do to help automate the response so you don't have to have humans intervening all the time. And which we'll briefly discuss today. And again, there's a longer session on Thursday on Microsoft Sentinel, the cloud native SIEM, which you see sort of threats across all of your workloads, both on anything basically connected up to it. So help identify and manage threats against those workloads, right? So, but again, this is just a small element, just very, very small aspect of well-architected frameworks. So as we showed a few slides back, have a look there to see basically how you can leverage a framework or work with Cloud Direct if you'd like to have a review done to see how you can improve your current state.